Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. So this channel is for celebrity news. I love the Housewives, so lots of reality TV, and then anything pop culture. I'm kind of into. Not everybody, but So tonight we're going to talk about. We're going to recap the Real Housewives of Potomac. Um, they just a whole mess. Potomac is so problematic, but I'm not gonna even engage with that right now. So this is season 9, episode 10. Let me get a little drink. Okay, so the episode starts out with the Grand Dame, Karen. The Grand Dame is Karen. For those that don't watch Potomac, um, so it starts out with Karen Huger and her daughter, who I believe is probably around 23 or something like that. I'm not certain if she's still in college or she graduated, but she was coming down because they were having like a Mother's Day situation. So, um, also Giselle's oldest daughter, Grace, I think, is going off to college soon. And so Karen asked her daughter, "Hey, do you think you'd be willing to go and speak about your experiences in college and what to look out for, that type of thing?" Um, with for Janelle's daughter Grace, I mean not Giselle's daughter Grace, who's going off to college. Um, and she said, of course, So Karen, oh, Giselle, and their both of their daughters, they go have like, I guess I don't even think they ate, but it was looked like a lunch maybe. And Grace was giving, I'm not Grace, Karen's daughter, um, began to give Grace some pointers, some suggestions, some things to look out for, because she's moving away from home. She's not gonna go to school, I think, in Atlanta. Are they in Atlanta? No, they're in Potomac. um, so Giselle wants her daughter to be as prepared as she can. And then give her, I think she gave some really good advice about it doesn't all have to happen in this time frame. Because I felt that for a very long time. I felt like what holds us back in this society, at least in America, is we love to copy, which I don't understand. Because I'm like, if God made you an original, why are you copying everything someone else does? Um, so for me, college and prep is really critical, especially for girls, because lots of things happen on college campuses. But I like, I like that Karen's daughter was basically saying, it doesn't have to be done exactly how everyone else does it. So even for the people in the chat and watching this video, you don't put a timeline on your greatness and your ability to achieve whatever it is that you dreamed up for your life. You don't have to go according to what our society says you have to do. So, so after Karen and her daughter, they go get tattoos. The tattoos are supposed to be kind of like a symbol for Karen's mom, who passed away a few seasons ago. So Karen, I think, gets one on her ankle, and then the daughter, I think, got one on her neck or her arm. I can't remember. And Karen's a whole mess because she keeps talking about this triple 20, which is she's basically saying, this year she's 60, and so she's stepping out of her box a little bit. I ain't mad at her for the for wanting to try something different in your life. Um, so this recap may not necessarily go in order, but you'll get the picture. So then we go to Dr. Wendy Osefo, who meets up with a new production team. So Dr. Osefo wants to have her own talk show, I guess like on YouTube or podcast, something like that. She wants to have that. And I think this is what Wendy gives me. So a lot of people, they are on social media or, on chat rooms and whatnot. And a lot of people kind of, They don't like the fact that Dr. Wendy has decided she wants to do something else. She wants to try something else because they all kind of like make fun of her, like find something and stick to it. Um, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. I feel like there's two things going on here. Dr. Wendy and even Aneka, the new girl, they're both from Nigeria, and so I think the level or the expectation that the parents have when they've sacrificed everything to come to America or start a new life here to give you the children an opportunity to be great. And so Wendy, I think, did exactly what her parents told her to do, which is go to college, get your education. You need to become a lawyer or a doctor. And unfortunately for Wendy, shout out to you, Wendy, we love you. But um, oh, what was I about to say? Oh, people are they kind of get disturbed because Wendy keeps changing her mind, and I just think, oh, that's what I was saying. So in their culture, the Nigerian culture, basically says you have to be a doctor or an attorney. And so Wendy went to, I guess she went down the lawyer path, but she either didn't pass something. I think she didn't pass something to be able to keep moving forward. So she decided to get her PhD. But the reason I don't have a gripe with her about that is because Wendy, I feel, became a doctor to make her mom proud, to make everybody else proud. I think felt like she's doing her duty as, honoring her mom to go and be something great. But even when Wendy first came on this platform, Potomac, she, had a few conversations with her mom and her sister about, to me, very kind of like indirectly saying, I'm not happy, I don't feel fulfilled. I know that I've accomplished something great to be like the only female black person that works at that University of John Hopkins University, I believe. Um, but she makes it very clear to me, at least, that she did all of those things for her parents and other people. So I think right now she's just kind of like, this is a big platform that I can utilize to grow a business, start a business, whatever. Which I think ever since Bethany Frankel made Skinny Girl margaritas or whatever the case may be, they put a clause in these people's contracts that basically says, it's called the Bethany clause, and basically says if you come on our show and you want to start a business, or, and I'm paraphrasing this part because this second part I'm not sure if it's 100% true. Um, if if you want your product or whatever it is your company is, your small business, to come on Bravo, we're not gonna let the $160 million I think that they paid Bethany, well, not Bravo, but the beverage companies out there, to purchase her Skinny Girl margarita. I don't know if they purchased just that, but basically she got paid in the shade, and Bravo was like, oh shit, or shoot. We're not doing that again because they realized how much money they lost. Because I think anyone that does it has to give Bravo a percentage, which makes sense because if you watch TV, all of the different stations want the sponsors to, they got to pay for it, to keep promoting. So I'm not mad at that. Um, Wendy, like I said, she meets with her new production team, and long story short, originally she had a different producer, and then according to Wendy, this producer basically sent her like a contract that said, I'm going to own 50% of, whatever your YouTube video or whatever platform you're putting your new talk show on. I want 50% because of what I bring to the table, was kind of what I got from Wendy. And she didn't like that. She's just like, oh, that's a red flag. So she got a new team. They talk about it, and that's kind of the end of that scene. One other thing about, Wendy doing everything, getting an education for everyone else, I feel like people try to drag her because she seems like she just kind of doesn't know what to do, right? But here's the thing. I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm a social worker and a therapist, and most um, all of my adulthood, basically you go from, in America anyways, you got to go to college, right? So I, of course, did that, bachelor's degree and then a master's degree. But what I realized in the industry that I'm in, especially social work, because being a therapist is way more lucrative, right? I You can get burnt out really quickly in the social work field, right? And I just didn't want to wait another 10 years for some program director to retire for me to be able to get where I want to get in terms of my success, in terms of my income, in terms of, whatever my goals are ultimately. Um, I just didn't see that changing. I feel like in the social work field, it's kind of like teaching, where everybody knows, we don't pay the teachers enough. It's kind of the similar. It's a similar thing with. Um, Hold on a second. I'm just trying to. Oh, okay. So it's a similar thing. So I wasn't happy, and I knew the two things I love. I know the first thing is I like luxury, right? So, well, no, let me say the biggest thing is I could wake up every day and help somebody. That type of thing, it fills me up, you know? And so the other part to that was like I said, I didn't want to wait for 25 years for some high ranking person in child protective services to quit or retire. So 2 years ago, during the pandemic, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go get another master's because the fields that I was working in with is very specific, right? It's mental health, essentially. Um, but I'm 43 years old, right? So I basically started my whole career over, went back to school. Most people don't want to do that. They're like, listen, I've never been there, done that. I don't want to do it again. But I said I have to do something that matches what I want for my life, right? So one part is I want to have work life balance and I want to be in control of it. And if I'm a therapist, I control everything essentially. Um, the point that I'm making here is let people should have um, they should have the ability to figure out what's right for their life, and then just be supportive. It might not necessarily be the way you think she should do it, but I don't down people because they've started a business that failed, they started another business that failed, they were unsuccessful. I don't knock that because me and my husband have a small business, and most businesses at some point, a good majority of them, go out of business, right? It's a difficult thing, right? So I just feel like I'm gonna marry what I love, which is helping others with money. Okay. So that's why I'm a therapist. And that's also why I just feel like let people have the right to self determine. So if this lady decided, hey, I wanna just see what sticks, go for it. I do think I think the problem with Wendy right now with the whole business thing, she's doing it in a way that's like she doesn't have all the answers. She doesn't know a lot. And I think every business she's mentioned on the show, she in some way, um, is trying to basically say, you know what, I'm going to take control of my life. And I have all this, this huge opportunity. But the problem with Wendy is she's not leading with what she loves, which is why she's like, oh, let me open up a lounge, right? And let me make candles. And now it's let me have a TV show, right? And I understand all of that, right? So my thing is, if you decide later in life or right now or whenever it is to do something you love, go ahead and go for it. Okay, let me get off my tangent. Um, so Candace is throwing a Mother's Day brunch. Um, and so she and her mom meet with I think like a party planner or something to discuss it. Because basically Candace wants to like honor all the moms or whatever people with kids. And so they go through that. It's not really much to it, but they're just basically planning it. And what else? Oh, okay. So after, when the brunch begins, or right before it begins, Candace gets a call from Wendy, and Wendy's basically saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to make it because she has like a paperback um, book signing." A lot of people on the internet are like, "No, she's just doing it because she didn't want to be in, you know, well, one, she would have to bring her mom, who Ineka has basically said is like a witch lady." So I don't think she really wanted her mom to have to be in that type of position. But Ineka and her sister walk in, and they overhear it. And so, of course, during the process of them eating, brunch or whatever, the Ineka lady asked about Wendy. She kind of inquired about her. And I feel like Ineka has a hard time saying, that's awesome, because it just comes across as like, I'm being made to say that's good. Like, so she doesn't come across as a hater, right? So she pretends she thinks this is a great thing, but I see straight through it. Um, what else? Okay, we talked about that. One second. I just feel like people were shady. Another thing about that dinner or brunch, Candace invited, she invites Ashley, which for the life of me, I can't understand how these people, year after year, have such a short memory about how snake like not Candace, Ashley continues to be, right? But they excuse it away. In my opinion, that's to do with like the colorism, my opinion, because anyway, I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. um, but she invited Ashley and her mom and to come to the brunch. And it's kind of confusing because it's like Ashley never misses an opportunity to try to do something mean to Candace. She just doesn't. Since she's been on the show, she is always coming for her for whatever reason. But I think it's mostly jealousy, in my opinion. And a lot of people online are saying, "Oh, Candace. Oh, they didn't understand why Candace would invite Ashley, given all the negative things that Ashley has done, and also too because Ashley's husband is suing Candace for, I think, defamation or something like that. But I disagree that it doesn't make sense for Candace to um, invite Ashley, who she knows is treacherous. There's an end game, in my opinion, with Candace, and the end game is if I can kind of cozy up to Ashley and maybe quote unquote start a new friendship, and we're gonna be good to each other. Candace, I feel like is saying, let me do this. I can butter up Ashley because she thinks we're friends again, and then by default maybe Ashley will go to Michael and be like, oh, Candace changed and whatever. I think that's the reason why um, Ashley was invited. I don't think I don't think Candace likes Ashley one bit. Um, so Mia shows up to the brunch, and based on some of her commentary and her um, just even nonverbal cues, she and her mom, she's jealous to me or envious that her mom has another daughter and they spend a lot of time together, but Mia doesn't necessarily get the same. And it's just kind of like, I understand that. Your mom is your person who birthed you out. You always gonna want to be around them unless they're churches. But anyways, um, so she didn't have her mom come. Oh, I noticed noticed, y'all let me know in the chat. For some reason, Mia seems like she's gained at least 25 pounds to me. I'm just like, what's that about? Did she do that because she's so stressed? Um, I don't know. I don't understand it, so I'll just leave it at that. What else did I have to say? Uh, oh, okay. It could be stress eating, right? She's so emotional about her divorce that she's doing. She's divorcing her husband G, and she already have a whole new boo, which TMZ I think reported. So it's kind of a big deal, I would say. What I find very ironic is if you guys remember Wendy's trip where it was like EVO, like or GVO, Good Vibes Only. They were out somewhere um, at I feel like a lake of some sort. And this is the irony to me. During that episode, or that few episodes that they were there, Mia, from what Askala and Candace and others seem to have been saying, is very pretentious and kind of elitist, because when they try to have a conversation with her based on whatever, you know, Bravo and that housewife um, think, it's ironic because she did all of this. I'm a bad bitch. I got all this money. I'm a boss. And now you have to move out of your new home that you're renting for $10,000, which makes no sense. Got to move back to wherever you came from. And that's not a knock at anyone that happens to, because life happens. The reason it's ironic to me is that you sat over here for what, 2 seasons and malign people about how much of a boss you are, and you don't, like, you did all that talking, and then now you lost everything essentially. So you got to kind of humble yourself a little bit, I would say. Um, da, 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 da. Who is that? Okay, I don't know. Oh, I think I was saying Askala's um, fashions are wonderful. So, oh, we already talked about that. Uh, so let's move on from there. Um, I mean, I guess, shout out to Karen, because she has her small business and it's growing, and or her perfume business, and she was talking to one of the ladies that was there about the perfume industry, and it's interesting to me that Giselle started Any Hue or Every Hue a few years ago, and then Karen wanted to start her business. I think it's called La Dame or something, and basically that whole season or two, um, Giselle was being very invasive. Like, well, when is your product gonna be sold, or where are you gonna when are you gonna get a contract? How do you know how much money you're gonna make? She kept pressing on Karen in a way. Obviously, it's kind of like a bullying thing, but she kept pressing on Karen, and what it came across as is this lady don't know what she's doing, and it's not going to be successful. And Giselle feels that way simply because Karen is not doing what she wants, which is tell her everything, where they are in the process. And Giselle wants all of that information. It's sort of like, it's the same reason why the police want you to come to the police station when they think you've harmed someone and you're a suspect. They put you in that room and they try to set you up, right? So they'll tell you all kinds of things that confuse you, that keep you there a very long time, to kind of hope that you're going to confess to something, or they're going to use it against you at some point. And so it's kind of like, that's exactly what happened to Giselle. You over here mocking this lady because she won't tell you everything about her business, and now your business is out of business. So Karen came for her that last season that what's her name, Monique was on there. So I think Karen couldn't wait to ask Giselle, how is Every Hue doing? Are y'all still successful? Are you still selling? She was pressing her, and you could tell, in true Giselle fashion, she doesn't want to be real. The purpose of that for Giselle is so that she can try to later use that against you. That you said you were going to do all of this and that, and it didn't come to fruition. Um, she Giselle does that so that she can. It's like getting ammunition so she can shoot at you later, in my opinion. So she can throw it in your face, like she did with Karen's tax issue. How are you delighted if this is your friend? How are you delighted in the downfall of her husband? Friend, how dare you? That's how I said it. Candace said it right. None of these houses real. They all fake. It's true. It's true. Because Giselle and Robin couldn't wait to kind of like try to embarrass and humiliate Karen over something Karen has nothing to do with outside of being married to the guy, her husband. And he's been investigated, but it's not anything she did. But they want to throw it in her face and put it on her, and it's kind of like one thing Bravo does effectively, and it's gonna happen. These tables are gonna turn. It's gonna be your turn at some point. So tread lightly. She didn't tread lightly. Giselle didn't tread lightly with the Grand Dame. So the Grand Dame got to the oh god, the reunion, and had she didn't hold back at all. She wanted to make Giselle basically said, I failed at my business. My business has failed. I'm out of business. And I was over here kind of mocking Karen and trying to play it down and, act like she doesn't have a real business and she's not going to succeed. And Karen is like, oh, yeah? Let's rewind the tapes, which is very, very much how Bravo producers are right now. They continue, they're continuously showing the hypocrisy in what people think, say, or do on this show. I think the only person that they don't do it so much with is Giselle, because she's supposedly the face. But she of Bravo. But Karen wanted to stick it to her. She did. She wanted to be like, look at me, bitch. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of adjacent to like, you inviting people that don't like you, or indirectly always taking shots at you, and then you have your wedding and you invite them, right? Because you want to pay for them to be there to witness how happy you are and how they're still ignorant and stupid and probably lonely, and you were coming for me for no reason. Be supportive. Anyway, I like that Karen did that, because it's like, now from here I put you on notice, so from here on out, she basically, my mom used to always say a bought lesson is better than a taught lesson, because if you have to pay for it, you probably not gonna do that again. And so that's Giselle. She put herself in that situation. What else? I don't. I can't stand Ashley, because she's the biggest king cobra snake I've ever seen. Because Ashley gets away with murder, season after season. Ashley she is badgering uh, uh, almost every single housewife, almost, about something that their husband is or isn't doing. She loves to humiliate people, and yet Robin is still saying that's her friend, when for the first 4 seasons she continuously drug Ashley. she continuously drug Ashley. And somehow, like I said, they have a short memory. Because you ain't got to tell me but once. Okay? So, but somehow, with all of the fuckery and all of the things that Karen has done to them, they always can forgive Karen and Ashley. When I say they, I'm talking about the Green Eyed Bandits, Giselle and Robin. They can always somehow find a way to reconnect and not be, fighting the whole season. Which is why a lot of people think, including me, it's a lot of colorism going on. Because Candace and Wendy are never given those type of opportunities. They just aren't. They're not given the opportunity, even in this season right now, to be able to be completely honest about how she feels regarding Giselle and others attacking her husband. You're mad at me because you made up a lie about me, or you were feeding into something that Giselle. I feel like everything Giselle does is what I'm about to say is a scheme that Todd set up to come with you with the, to come to you with the bullshit. Um, it's just Potomac is a mess, And like I said, with the colorism thing, it's like why can't you forgive Candace, who really, truthfully, only really reacts if you notice. Candace does not come out of the gate being mean to people. What happens is they start some bull, and then she's relentless, and then they're gonna get mad at her because she's being relentless. Well, then leave me alone, because that's exactly what bullies do. They find someone who they think is weaker or lesser or whatever it is, and so they bully them, and that's exactly what they've done to a lot of the people on Real House of Potomac. They bully them, um, and so now Candace isn't having it. She's not, and here's the thing. I think it bothers Giselle's entire soul that she made fun of Karen, and now Karen is in, I think, Bloomingdale's or something like that with her perfume line. You made fun of Ashley. I'm not Ashley. You made fun of Candace. Um, but when Candace responds to, what you've done to her, now it's so egregious. Even though you didn't have that same energy for all of the times that Robin was super aggressive. You don't have no memory of that. You just want to highlight all of the times and how problematic you think Candace is. They're all problematic. Don't come on reality TV if you have skeletons. Because they're gonna find it. And so I just don't like what's going on right now with that. But really with Ashley, like I said, she had a moment at her house with her mom, and they were getting ready for the brunch, I believe. Um, but I mean, they didn't really add anything to me to the episode. So at this point, everyone is there at the Mother's Day brunch, and Sharice shows up. When Sharice shows up, it's almost like I'm pretty sure the producers said, "Come, Sharice, because we want you to ask Ashley," especially since Giselle and Robin didn't get invited. Well, Robin got invited, but she declined to come, and Giselle didn't come. So now they don't really have anyone to kind of hold Ashley accountable or get information from her, because Sharice promptly sat down right next to Ashley and was just almost like immediately like, "So, is your divorce finalized?" And I'm paraphrasing. Where are you? Are you still getting divorced? And this, that, and the third. And it's just kind of like, y'all sent this lady here to do that, which I'm here for, because that's exactly what Ashley would do. It's exactly what she would do. It's why she brought Sesame Seed. What is it? Sesame Street characters talking about Candace's husband. It's very deliberate, very deliberate. But with the colorism thing, they just don't give Ashley the same smoke. They don't give each other the same smoke that that they don't get the same consequences. The people like Giselle and all the light skinned crew, they don't get held to the fire. And it's almost like they have like an unconscious agreement that no matter what, we're gonna always. It's more of us than it is of them. So they're always gonna be outnumbered, always. And no matter what, we've made a like I said, an unconscious agreement that no matter what, us four, we're never gonna be in a situation where we're talking so authentically about someone and at the end of the day they will break up because in my opinion all of it for them is like let's get the paper, everybody want to eat, so we ain't gonna hold nothing, we're not gonna hold ourselves really accountable. We could be very forgiving for all the light skinned people, right? The we can't this is the craziest thing. So you can forgive all this other stuff, right? That Karen has done directly to you, or vice versa. Y'all can all get over it. Candace situation, Candace didn't provoke them, right? They will not give Candace another chance. That's another thing with the colors because it's like, why do you let all the light skinned people? You can forgive them, but when it comes to the chocolate people, because Wendy Osefo is the same thing. When they kicked Monique off of the show a few years ago because she beat up Candace or attacked her, they were all standing 10 toes down on let's get um, this low class, just new money person Monique out of this cast and off of our show. But it's crazy to me that you've done that. These people have directly, basically said, Chris made me feel uncomfortable, and it became this big thing. And because Candace has responded like I think any loving wife would, we not doing that bullshit. We not doing that about my husband. Listen, I done told people 100 times, come see about me. Be clear. Gloves are off. But somehow Candace trying to protect her husband, or even being very angry or disappointed, hurt, she's not allowed to go on the internet and say it. She's not allowed to go on the internet and say, hey, listen, this is my theory of what was going on and why people attacked my husband. It was like the takedown, right? And it's a double standard. It is. It's a double standard. And it's unfortunate. And the audience sees it. They do. Because you can point out 10 things that are. I don't think. Let me say this too. I don't think the colorist people on the cast think that they're doing anything colorist. They don't see themselves as being a part of the problem. Otherwise, they would correct their behavior, right? They don't, and they're not going to. So sorry, y'all. My back is itching. um. So you don't want this lady to go out there on the internet after you've accused her husband of essaying someone, and it's all a lie. You've accused my husband of putting his hand on some girl's booty, the Sesame Street character, I believe, and you just kept continuously going after my husband in a way that is so dangerous. And the reason I use that word is because if another person somewhere down the line that Chris comes into contact with or whatever, if they get mad at Chris, all they have to do is say, he SA'd me and he sexually put the other word with it, me. It's the H word. Um, it's gonna go on and affect this man into the end of time. He's never gonna get away from it. And it's false. So it just will open up the floodgates for people who, like I said, they want to, I don't know, expose someone. They don't have to be telling the truth. Why? Because now on this show over here, that everybody that loves Giselle is thinking, what Giselle did is, it was very, altruistic, and she's standing in the gap and wants to shine a light on women who are abused, you know? So you are the one that tried to destroy my whole entire family. And now my real family, my kids, I got to explain why people are running around America making up lies, saying that I've been doing something inappropriate with a woman. And any good attorney, all they're going to do is look at the woman, right? And say, you know, 1 in 4 women will be sexually, oh, I can't use that word, assaulted. We'll say that in their lifetime. And what Giselle did was, it's like a dog whistle to people so that later in life, I will always be able to bring you down because I have these false allegations from 1981 to use against you. And that's it's such an I don't even know the right word. I don't know. I don't know the right word, but it's gonna affect this man and his family for the remainder of his life. So if now this woman wants him and he doesn't want her, or she's mad at him, she can just go say, yeah, he harassed me, or he did this, he violated me in some way, and the good attorney is gonna go in there and point out the other things that Chris was being accused of, to kind of give credence to this idea of what Giselle is over here saying, which is so effed up. Um, I don't. There's nothing really more going on with Ashley, but Charisse did come to the brunch and excuse me, asked Ashley about when she's getting divorced and whatever else, um, because everybody thinks it's fake. Now, what did I put on here? Let's see. So I put on here. I was like, listen, Bravo, truly original, NBC, um, and everything in between. Y'all always want Candace to shut up, but what I want you guys to do is tell Ashley to just shut the fuck up. Just can you do that? Because she's the culprit of all of it, and she still gets away with it as if it never happened every season. I want y'all to go into a meeting and just tell Ashley, shut the fuck up, stop, stop. You want to ruin my marriage. And this is the thing too. The people that were accusing Candace of, whatever it is that she's saying, are all the people who, like, they're discrediting her husband, right? And saying he's doing whatever. But yet none of them have a relationship, in the words of Dr. Um, Wendy Osefo. None of you guys have a relationship that holds water. Not one of y'all. Y'all all sat on this show and said, we've all been through this. But you're so beautiful and you're so acceptable as a beauty standard to the rest of the world. How dare you not have somebody want to marry you or just try to get at you, you know? But here we have Candace over here and Wendy, who both of their husbands seemingly love them, with the exception of Chris and not, I don't know, actually must be on mine. With the exception of Chris and Candace, because they do fight. They do fight like with profanity and just they go. I feel like they're drunk. They're dramatic, but it's real for them, right? Regarding anything that's negative about them and their family. Um, so I just want Ashley to shut up. But I think Giselle, Ashley, I don't think Robin, maybe even Mia, they're jealous of what Wendy and Candace has, which is a marriage to seemingly faithful men that support them, rally for them, whatever it is. They want that. And I don't want to say they're never going to get it, but it's not looking good. They keep picking the wrong, same stupid men, in my opinion. What else? Oh, you know what else is really interesting to me? Another thing about Snake Ashley. She has convinced Wendy, not necessarily told Wendy this, but her actions have uh, basically said to Wendy, listen, I got your back. After all of that stuff happened where Mia tried to fight her and threw some, I think a cocktail or something on her, the way Wendy looks at it is she feels as though Ashley was the only person initially who understood why Wendy felt the way she did and how that was wrong with Robin, Giselle, and Mia. All of them were instigating, I feel like. Um, and so, for those reasons, Wendy, I think, looks at that like, mm, I think she just looks at it like, if you were willing to go against your friends and whomever else, then you have a good heart. And so I think in Wendy's mind, they became friends. In Wendy's mind, because that isn't what Robin or Giselle or whomever are giving to her. They're giving, we never want to talk to you again, shoot with you again, none of that. But she thinks Ashley is loyal, and she is, I think, eternally grateful because she feels like, yay, Ashley stood up for me when everybody else essentially would not. Until Candace came later in the episode. Um, let's see. Oh, and for those of the people, I forgot to say this. We were recapping season 8, episode 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. And I would love it if you guys could just click that like button as soon as you come in the room. Um, and also subscribe. It's a free and easy way to support um, YouTubers or other content creators, right? So it's sort of like if they basically are tracking what you do on YouTube or wherever, and being able to kind of use that to their advantage. So, um, so the last thing in this scene, the last scene basically was Candace and Robin finally, having a conversation about it, what happened, and why Robin doesn't want to be her friend anymore, and Candace is hurt, but she can't get over how she can have a friend Giselle that is dragging her husband and accusing him of doing things that he didn't do. So Candace is like, pick a team. Like how it just says to Candace and to me as well, you're aligned with this person who is trying to destroy my family and destroy any future earnings or opportunities that my husband, Chris, may have because now you have this out here in the world. And it's unfortunate. So Robin sat down and she wasn't having it with Candace. But the one thing I will say in that conversation that I think was truthful, and I agree with Robin on this one thing, which is if something happened between me and my husband and we've resolved it, and whenever it happened, it happened. We've resolved it. We've moved forward. If I tell everybody, because they were like mad at, why didn't you put this on TV instead of, trying to humiliate me and my husband? But it's kind of like, oh, Jesus. Hold 1 second, guys. Oh, God. It was one other thing. Oh, with Robin. So, what I agree with is that her saying, I'm not going to go and publicly humiliate my husband for a check, basically for money. And I understand that. It's like don't sell your life and your family and all that so that you can be on the show, especially if you've already resolved the issue. And the other thing is too, we all have a friend that is with some idiot that she shouldn't be or he shouldn't be, right? And you want to warn them about this person, but that friend tells you all the heinous things and how he emotionally abuses her, how he doesn't support her, whatever it is, fill in the blank. Um, um, hold on. Oh, so basically, she's just like, I'd rather get off the show, Robin, than to put my husband in a situation where. But this is the thing, though, Robin. How are you mad at Candace? How are you more mad at Candace in the Bravo verse for dragging you when and have, but you have no problem really with your husband, who basically from day one is like, I don't want to be here and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the kids. But you have all this negative energy and unforgivability for Karen and Ashley. Well, really, not Karen, for Candace. Your relationship is done. I'm not talking to you anymore. Like, how? How are you mad at me? Because I don't want to go and humiliate my husband on, national TV, basically sell it. Um, I agree with that because I wouldn't. I wouldn't if my husband did something. Well, if he essayed someone, that's a wrap for me. I wouldn't. I would never stay with someone like that. But if it was a different type of situation and we've worked everything through, um, I don't see why she should have to come on national TV and tell everybody, because what's going to happen is all the friends that she told when she was angry and moved out and whatever else, or kicked him out, when your family members and your friends find out you're back with that person, you may be happy with them, right? We didn't forget how he treated you. And so it's just kind of like that person, the spouse, the other person that they're talking about, is never going to get really a fair shot. They just really not. They're not going to get a fair shot. And they also don't want to say to you, you're an idiot for taking this idiot back, because they can't move, even though you've moved past whatever's happened in your marriage. Others can't get past how they felt about how this person's spouse treated their friend, right? So I feel like Robin's thing is, I can tell you guys all these things that Juan has done, the past 6 months, and basically now all of my friends know this, and they can't be nice to him anymore because they feel like that's fake and phony, which it is. They're always going to look at that man through the lens that you gave them to look through, which is, I exposed my husband or spouse for cheating or whatever it is, spending all our money, being a drunk, whatever it is. I'm not going to allow you to, try to do this to my husband. But this is the thing for me. I'm like, Robin, girl, you didn't do anything to deserve, this situation with Juan and the man in Canada. I mean, the woman in Canada. You didn't do anything to deserve that. Yeah, think about this, Robin, if you're watching this. Think about, why is it that your husband has done the perpetrating and he's not the one going on a, apology tour to say how horrible he feels about what happened to his wife. He really wishes he wouldn't have put her in that situation. None of that came out of Juan's mouth, at least on camera. So Robin, you should ask yourself, why am I throwing myself under the bus and um, falling on my sword when the person who betrayed me, which is Juan Dixon, betrayed me, is the person that actually did something to damage me and our marriage. I didn't do anything. So why do I have to go on an apology tour to protect you? Especially when you still haven't come on camera and said, I am sorry, Robin, for what I did. You still haven't. Maybe you said it privately, but you haven't said it publicly. And that's what really matters. Why are you allowing this to happen to your wife? I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't care about her. And he said it from season 1. So girl, wake up. Like, wake up. Okay? Anyway, guys, that was basically the last thing that happened with this episode. And I don't know what to say about Potomac, but there's a lot of, you know, conversations about how problematic Potomac's cast is and what they're doing and all that. So I don't know how long they're gonna stay, you know, with the crazy. How much longer can they allow the colorism, or, you know, taking down of people's marriages and all that? How long? How much can that person take? How long are you gonna give them another shot? Bravo. Probably for the rest of their life because they like Giselle. So Giselle can do whatever she wants, but Candace can't do whatever she wants. You see the difference again? And Candace is dark skin, Giselle is light skin. I'm not saying that's the sole reason why, but it plays a role. And the reason we know that is because you do not give the same consequence, bravo, to Giselle when she does things to people religiously. You never seem to can find a way to throw her under the bus, but you are always on Candace's neck. When Candace is not the person, Candace didn't provoke anybody. They're always provoking her, and then they don't like it when she keeps dead them on sight with her mouth. But anyway, guys, again, that's my that's my recap. Thank you for coming by. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe my videos, and then hit the notification button so you'll always know when I'm uploading a video. If you want to participate in the panels that I'm going to have soon, um, you'll get an alert for those things. But until next time, love you guys, and thank you so much for supporting Chanel's Reality. Have a good one.